Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a full face tutorial. A nice break from all those eyeshadow reviews, right? Don't worry, there will be another one tomorrow. Anywho, I'm going to be doing a runway to everyday for everybody type of look, and the for everybody comes into play with my collaboration partner Glitzy Fritzy here on YouTube. Her real name is Mary. I adore her. She is going to be showing you guys the age range of 50 plus. So haven't seen her look yet. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I'm excited to watch her video. She's amazing. She's so kind. I have been talking to her and watching her videos for such a long time, for years, you guys. She is like one of those people that you can watch and giggle with. Like feel like you're at home when you're watching her. And she has a plethora of things on her channel. And I love that she's representing a community that is not widespread here on YouTube. Again, 50 plus. She's killing the thing. I love it. And she's been nothing but kind to me. She's always talking to me here on YouTube. I talk to her in my DMs and on Instagram all the time. Nothing but sweet, kind words, always checking in on me, always goofing off with me. I just love her, and I think that you guys will love her too. So I'm going to be doing this look. I'm going to show you who it's inspired by in just a second, but I'm going to be doing this look for, the 30s. Obviously, anybody younger than me, this is going to work for you as well. And then, 40s, this will work for you. You just need to tweak anything that you want to with the face makeup. This look will literally work for everybody. And then Mary is going to be doing the 50 plus range on her channel. I haven't seen her look. I have no idea what it's going to come out like, but I'm excited to watch. So you guys make sure that you do as well. Now I have to give a big shout out to the person that we stole this look from. Not steal, it's inspired by her. I follow her on Instagram. I am not going to butcher her name because I will do that. You know me and my words. I'm just going to leave the name right here. But she needs a following, you guys. She needs it. Oh my goodness. You go through and you look at her page. She has everything from editorial looks, runway looks, everyday wearable looks, which is kind of what we did today. I'm going to insert a few pictures. Like, let me say, this one right here is clearly something more editorial, something you're going to do for a runway or just for a picture. And then this is something that anybody could get away with. You could easily swap out that red lip for a nude and just make it even more wearable. And then we have color from her. Do you see the amount of talent? I live. And then skin. She is so talented. So make sure that you go and check her out as well as Mary. Both of them will be linked down below. But let's get into the actual picture that we chose from her Instagram to do. This is it right here. And I feel like this is an editorial but wearable look. And so I'm taking it from Runway and I'm going to make it into everyday. And it's going to be super easy to recreate. Well, come back. So if you'd like to see how I drew inspiration from this picture to create this look, just keep watching. Before I start the look, I want to go ahead and just tell you guys what I already have on my face. So clearly you can see I have my brows done, I have my eyes primed, but then on my face, I have the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra primer on the perimeter of my face. I did that first and then kind of let it sink in as I was doing my brows and everything. And then underneath my eyes, I have my Becca Under Eye Anti-Fatigue Primer. You want to use just a little bit of this. And then for my pores, I have this as well as this. And this is the MAC Skin Refine Zone and the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. I put a little dot of this and then I let it dry up. And then I take my finger on the top of this and just put it onto my pores. For foundation, I want to go in with something that's going to be lighter on the skin, but give me good coverage and also longevity because I have a long day ahead of me. So I'm going to go in with one that I know works really well, and this is from DIOR. I could use the shade 2N, but I don't have it, so I'm going to be mixing two different shades. I have 1N and 2W. I'm going to make sure I give them a good shake, and then I'm going to mix them together on my dish. And a lot of people will ask me, Mel, why don't you do your primers on your face? So some of you guys already know this because you've been with me for a very, very, very long time. But I know I have a lot of new subscribers, so I'm just gonna restate this. This is gonna sound weird if you haven't heard this before, but bear with me. Sonia Kashuk sponge, I get this at Target. I'm gonna go ahead and start applying. Now, the reason why I don't do my primers on camera is because I have a sensory disorder. Now, I don't mind touching my own face, but somebody else touching my face will send me into an automatic rage. Not just it's irritating, but I panic, I get flight or fight mode, and I lose it. Well, I have discovered that that kind of happens as well if I'm doing it on camera. So when I go back and I edit and I see my fingers all over my face, I can't handle it. I'm telling you, sometimes I just will walk away from editing. I have to walk away from the computer and then come back. I know that sounds like, what are you talking about, Mel? Oh my goodness. It's a sensory disorder thing, and it's hard to explain unless you just happen to have one as well. There's a lot of different things that go into my sensory disorder, like the hatred of sound, misophonia, if you look that up. There's just a lot, but that is one of the things. If you're interested in my priming techniques and the reason why I do certain things, I do have a video. So it's my priming technique video. I'll talk about some of my favorite primers. This one is not listed in there because I didn't have it at the time, or it might not even been out, but I love this one, and I would just say add this to the list of my favorites. And I like it because it's hydrating, but it's not overly hydrating. It just kind of perfects the skin as the hydration. Hyaluronic acid is just really great. And for anybody who doesn't know already, I have combo skin. So I get oily in my T-zone, and then it's a variation. It's a different day, different story on the outskirts of my face. I tend to get a little bit drier around my mouth. That has improved, but it's just, again, daily thing for me. I have to figure out my skin in the morning and then go in with whatever I feel is necessary. And now a lot of you have seen this on the top of my head. I got quite a few comments about it. It's funny. It's so funny. At least it's funny to me. I I was dyeing my hair the other day, bleaching it, and you know, your scalp can get kind of sensitive whenever you bleach your hair. Well, when I went to wash out the bleach and then wash my hair, kind of did like this lather motion, and I forgot that I had nails. I haven't had nails in so long, and I just scratched the top of my head. So yeah, that's there. It's funny to me. It's funny. It's just so obnoxious and just right there in your face. But you know, yellow. I can't even believe I just said yellow. Forgive me. As you can see, this gave me the amount of coverage that I wanted. I have a slight little dew on my skin, and that's mainly because of the primer and then also my skincare, and it's just not heavy. For my concealer, I also don't want that to be heavy, so it should be no shock that I'm going to go in with my favorite. This is the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Concealer, and I use the shade number 5. I am not going to bake today because I don't want to have anything heavy on my skin. In the picture, her skin looks amazing. I know I'm not going to get it to that level, but I do not want to put anything that's going to be super drying or really mattifying on my skin. So I'm going to be using this right here. This is the Becca Under Eye Brightening Powder. I'm going to put that on with a fresh mini cheek. I did end up buying a second set of these brushes because I love them. And I'm just going to dip into the powder, tap off any excess, start at my pores, and work up. Just kind of pressing this in. This brush is so good for the under eye area. And it doesn't pick up too much product. It's perfect. Now I'm going to set the rest of my face with my By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra powder. This is the tinted one in the shade 200. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to stick with this brush for just a second because I am going to set my nose with it. If you wanted to, you could use this for underneath your eyes to set as well. It looks really nice. I just like to use 30 different powders. I don't know why. BK Beauty 102, and I'm going to take that powder and I'm going to set the rest of my face. So finely milled. It's like it just goes everywhere. But you do not need a lot of this powder. And as you can see, I have this glow still, and that is because of this powder. This is quickly becoming one of my absolute ride or die powders. I love it because it doesn't make my skin look dry. It doesn't really alter the shade of my foundation. Again, I'm using the shade number 200. And it's beautiful. And this brush to apply it, oh, look at this. It's just like, ah, it's so soft. If you haven't checked out the BK Beauty brushes yet, you need to. What are you waiting for? I don't know why I'm still doing this. I'm not putting any extra product on. I think I just like the way it feels. When I'm looking at this picture, I'm not seeing a whole lot of her skin. Again, hers is definitely much more dewy looking, but I will get to that later. I have to make sure all my pores and everything are perfected. But I can't tell if she is bronzed or contoured or anything because this is such a close-up image. I think that I want to go more towards like the contoured look instead of really bronzing up my skin, because sometimes when I do that, I can look very, very bronzed. So I'm going to go in with an oldie but a goodie, where it's like it's upside down, I couldn't see it. I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow in the lighter shade. I'm going to take this guy right here on my Sonia G, baby. I love this brush. I love this brush. Master Face. And I'm just going to take this. I feel like this is the perfect in between. So it's not going to be too contoury and it's not going to be too bronzy. Of course, you can do whatever you want to do. But I just want to have just something subtle on my skin. I don't want it to be dramatic. And I feel like I can get pretty dramatic with my bronzer. No shame in my game. I know I do. I love me some bronzer. I'm just going to take this around. It just gives me a little bit of dimension back to my face and a little bit of color. I'm going to use that same shade on my Wayne Goss number 11. I'm just going to go down the side of my nose into this area right here. Linda Hallberg 303 in the highlighter shade. I'm going to place this on the bridge of my nose. I stop it right about here. And then I put just a little bit on the tip. For my cheeks, again, I don't want to go in with anything that's going to be too dark. So I'm going to go in with this one from MERCIER, and this is the shade FRESCO on my Sonia G Soft Cheek. And this does have like just the slightest little bit of luminosity to it. I hate when I get it up too high by accident. I like to bring this up. You don't have to, but that's what I like to do. This is something that I do every single day, no matter what, and it's my Tatcha Camilla Gold Spun Lip Balm. I need to put this on my lips. I feel like this really preps my lips. And, ooh, they've been dry. Like the weather has been back and forth. Love it. And then when I go in with my lipstick, I always just kind of dab off any excess. All right, for my highlight, you can totally go in with the one that is in the Charlotte Tilbury palette. However, I don't want my highlight to be overwhelming. I want it to kind of blend into my skin. So I'm going to go in with one that's just a little bit deeper. That's going to give me a glow without like the intensity and shine of something that's really bright. And I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty Afternoon Snack and Mo Honey. I'm going to go in with this shade right here. And I'm just going to apply this with that same Sonia G brush that I used underneath my eye. What is it? The mini cheek. And as you can see, that gives me a glow, but it's not something that's really bright. The lights are gonna catch it right now, but with my skin tone, it's just, it kind of blends. It's really pretty. I love this shade. And I'm just applying that to the top part of my cheekbone, right wrapped around to like this spot. And then I always take it on my forehead. I kind of go like this, like a bridge, just like that. And of course, I always buff, so anything that can be harsh, it will be gone. And my chin. As you can see, my skin is much more glowy now, and I'm about to make it even more glowy because I'm trying to get on that glow level of the picture. So I'm going to use my Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. I've been using this more often recently because, again, weather changes. I feel like my skin just needs it. But I'm not going to spray this directly on my face. I like to put it on the back of the bottom of my sponge. Spray it a few times, kind of squeeze my sponge so that it kind of gets in the bottom, and then go right over the cheek, top of the highlight area. I don't like to go over my pores, my chin, on my nose, forehead. This is going to help sink everything in. But then I'm going to go over and buff. So that's going to make everything very seamless. But this is going to add in that hydration that I need. I don't want to look dry. I feel like on camera, like if, at least in the viewfinder, my face is looking kind of dark. It doesn't look that dark in person, but it doesn't matter because I'm about to take things down several notches by buffing. Make sure that you let this dry first. If you go straight into buffing before you have let this dry, not going to be fun for you. I've let this sit about 5 minutes, you know, just kind of lollygagged right here. But I'm gonna take my Master Face, this is another one, so I have 2 of these from Sonia G. I'm gonna pick up some of the SISLEY powder in 01 IRISEE. I'm gonna start on my forehead. And as you can see, this powder has a glow as well, but it's also going to blend everything together, soften everything up. Just buffing it into the skin. I'm not adding more and more powder, I'm just buffing. This brush is so perfect for that. It's like I needed one for my bronzer and I needed one for buffing. I'm gonna do the same thing down here. If you can tell, I'm kind of skipping the area on my pores because I'm going to go in with another powder. They don't call me the powder queen for no reason. This time I'm going in with the SISLEY Blur Expert on an Envision number 3. This is a synthetic brush and it's a little stiffer. And I am pressing this into the pore area, right underneath the eyes. And as you can see, that kind of takes away some of the brightness, which is fine by me. I don't really want my under eye to be too bright. And it blurs out my pores beautifully. I love to get this right beside my nose. I feel like my pores are the largest on this side. Ooh. Now I'm just going to add back in my little freckle. This is an old pencil. I've had this for so long. It's taupe from MAC. I don't even think you can get this anymore. There's been many times where I have forgotten this, like traveling, and I've been able to use my brow pencil. So that's another option as well. Now my face is done. I feel like I have the nice glow to it. It looks healthy. It looks perfected. So now we're going to move on to the eyes. And for my eyes, I'm going to go in with the ColourPop and Kathleen Light's Dream Street palette. I thought this was limited edition, but apparently not, because I just went on the ColourPop website and it was still there. This is perfect because it has those rosy gold tones, the bronzy tones, everything I need to create that eye look, or at least something similar. So let's go ahead and move on to the eyes. The very first thing I want to do is go in with liner, and this is from Linda Hallberg Cosmetics Whipple Flash Crayon. And I am going to take this right at my lash line. I'm doing this now because I do want to cover it up. I don't want this to be intense. So I'm going to do right up against it. Then I'm going to go in and blend it out before it dries. Royal Inlay Nickel BOM 420. Just blending that out. This can be messy. This is basically just going to add some dimension and depth to the lash line. I'm also going to apply this to the inner rim, because in the picture, it doesn't show her inner rim being really dark. It shows it being like this lighter brown, like this metallic-y kind of brown. So I'm not going to use Milk Boss liner today, just this. Sonia G Crease Pro and Twinkle. I'm going to start this on the outer corner, bringing it upward. These shades blend out so easily. And then I'm going to take it into the crease. I am going to bring this really far in, right in this area, because in the picture, she has this very blown out. So I want to do the same thing. And I want to start off with a matte shade before I go in with all the shimmers, because there's definitely a lot of sheen to this eye look. Esom S33, I'm going to go ahead and take that same shade and just really buff it underneath the lower lash line. Wayne Goss number 19 in the shade Moony. I want to create just a little bit of depth before I go in with the metallics. So I'm going to take this on the outer corner, not very much. I'm going to blend it upward. Just circular motions, buffing it out. Not taking it into the crease. I'm only going upward on this outer portion of the eye. I'm also going to buff this on the inner corner, very like sloppily. It's going to be blended, but not being really precise with it. Just want to buff this right in here. I'm going to continue using the same brush, and now I'm going to grab the shade Magical. I am placing this right over where I put that darker shade, and I am blending this upward. Same thing to the inner corner. Same brush, I'm going to take a little bit more of Moony. I'm going to layer this over the top, right at the bottom portion of the eye. Also known as the lid. That's weird. On the inner corner as well. I'm not bringing this upward, just buffing it out on the inner and outer corner of the lid. Kind of into the crease, but not above. Sonia G Worker 3 in the shade Spark. I'm going to buff this on the center of the lid and kind of bring it upwards towards the brow. Now, if you're watching me and you're like, why do you keep using all these blending brushes? That is because this look is not meant to be like harsh. It's not supposed to have any harsh lines. It's supposed to all kind of merge together and create this beautiful look. So I don't want to use like a 242 or anything like that, because I want it to be just blended together and amazing. So I'm just kind of taking this back and forth, bringing it up, like I said, all the way to the brow. It's going to kind of give you that halo look. Again, back in with Mooney and a BOM 47 from Royal Inlay Nickel. I am just slightly going to buff this at the lash line. I do not want this to be harsh. I don't want it to be super pigmented. I just want you to be able to see like a little hint of it. I really wish I had like a shimmer shade for this, but I don't want to pick up another shadow palette to do it. Lower lash line, this is Whipple Flash, taking it right up against the lashes. And I'm quickly going to blend that out with my Tom Ford number 12. This is the synthetic version. Now I'm going to take the shade Shooting Star on that same brush, and I'm going right over top of Whipple Flash. I'm just going to buff this out. BK Beauty 202, I'm just blending out the edges of that. This is clean, obviously. I don't know why I needed to tell you that. You obviously saw that I have not used this yet. I'm tired. I need sleep. I've had 2 things of coffee this morning. And I'm not a coffee drinker. Still sleepy. And then lastly, I'm just going to apply a little bit of Whipple Flash to the inner rim. I'm going to go add on my mascara. I know I have longer lashes than she does, so it's going to give it a little bit more of a wide-eyed effect, but I can't help it. I have long lashes. Eye look is done, but I do have to tell you guys, when I got up close, I could see the amount of fallout I had, and it made the under eye look a little bit dirty as well as textured because I used shimmers. This is why I like to bake underneath my eyes if I'm going to do my foundation first, but no big deal. All I did was wipe it away with a brush, like I buffed it out, and then I went in with another by Terry powder. This is the shade Apricot Light. I originally thought that this was going to be too dark for me, but it's actually not. Let's see, that's what it looks like. I would have used Rosy Light if I wanted to really brighten up the area, but I didn't want to really be bright in this area. So I took Apricot Light on my Delium 785, and then I just buffed it into the skin. That smoothed my pores right back out from the shadows, and then it also cleaned up and brightened the area without over brightening it. And yeah, so we are cleaned up back underneath the eyes. Now I went ahead and also did my liner off camera. The lip look that is in the picture is a little less defined. I like to have a little bit of definition to my lips, but I'm going to try and stay truer to the picture. I used my Chanel number 34. This is one that is just closest to my natural lip color. So I lined my lips and then just barely filled them in, but again, I just didn't want to have anything too defined. Now we're going to go in with the color, and I might have to make a concoction because I was looking at this and I'm like, I'm not sure what to do because, you know, the color of your lips, everything plays a part in how this turns out. So what I'm going to start off with is Autoerotique from Tom Ford. This seems to have like this is slightly peachy. So I'm going to do this. I actually think that this lipstick alone works pretty well. Now in the picture, she definitely has gone in with a highlight right at this part of the lip, like right at the Cupid's bow and right around here. It looks beautiful in the picture. However, I don't want to add that because I am actually going out today. So that completes this look. I think it turned out really well. Do I look exactly like the picture? No. I mean, look at this model too. Jeez. But This is a wearable rendition of it, and I think it turned out well. I really, really like the way that this looks. Definitely make sure you go check out Mary. I think you guys will love her. And also, I'm not going to try to pronounce this name because I'm going to mess it up, but check out her Instagram. Every time I see one of her pictures, I'm just like, do my face. Just do my face. Anywho, that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this look. Let me know down below if you did. Also, let me know if you plan on recreating it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.